into the ring, the bell's about to chime. Turnbuckle Talk, we're here to shine. Flagship on the airwaves, leading the pack. Breaking news reviews, we've got your back. From the squared circle to the backstage news, we bring stories that you can't refuse. Turnbuckle Talk, the voice of the fight. Every slam, every suplex, every highlight. Tune in weekly, don't miss a beat. For the latest in wrestling, we bring the heat. From AEW to WWE, we cover it all from A to Z. Interviews, insights, and match reviews. If it's wrestling news, we've got the clues. From the squared circle to the backstage news, we bring stories that you can't refuse. Turnbuckle Talk, the voice of the fight. Every slam, every suplex, every highlight. Tune in weekly, don't miss a beat. For the latest in wrestling, we bring the heat.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Turnbuckle Talk, where we discuss everything a little bit out of the norm in the pro wrestling world and that bring you the news that not everybody may be talking about. I am OM Dynamic. I am joined alongside Chris Best. Carl Carafel is on assignment tonight. How are we doing, my friend?
I am doing good. We've got a lot to talk about, so let's get right into our first story today, in which it has been announced that Seth Rollins will be joining NFL Gameday Christmas on Netflix. OMD, you were the one that presented this story, so why don't you go ahead and talk about it here?
You know, we talk about a lot of the crossovers with former football players coming into pro wrestling. And you can look at a guy like a Bill Goldberg. You can look at, I'm going to pull a blast from the past, in the legendary Angelo Mosca going to Maple Leaf Pro. This is something new. And I mean, we've got, of course, Pat McAfee. So we're getting sports transcending sports entertainment here. So I absolutely love this for Seth. It is very interesting, however, that he is going to be analyzing the Vikings-Lions game on Christmas Day.
Yeah, this is interesting to me too, because he does carry a wealth of football knowledge with him. I've seen like his posts online where he's talking about like maybe a football score that he's not happy with. It's going to be very intriguing to see him in this kind of a situation, because he has provided an analyst point of view for football before by joining the NFL Network's Good Morning Football for the 2025 and the 2026 season. This is going to be interesting to see how he does, because I don't watch this, but I may watch this game day football thing, depending on what my Christmas schedule is.
Right. I know I'm going to watch at least one game on Christmas Day, between doing the Christmas morning thing with the family and then having the afternoon to relax with my boy. What I would like to see, and I love this for a multitude of reasons, but one of the things I would love to see, and we've seen it before in like years ago when CM Punk was injured and he joined the commentary team.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see, when these superstars are injured, rather than sitting at home on the shelf, let them come out and do something like that. Go to the commentary booth, go and do a backstage interview. Can you imagine Seth Rollins doing a backstage interview?
I would, yeah. I think he'd bring a little bit of flair, just as I think he's going to bring a little bit of flair to this role he's taking on Christmas Day. And I'm glad that I mentioned Flair, because one of his rivals' son made his debut with DEFY Pro Wrestling over the weekend as well.
Yeah.
Talking about Steve Borden Jr. here in the red there. he's making waves on the independent circuit right now. Can't I had my doubts with him. I will not lie. I had my doubts with this guy.
We all have, because it's that nepotism factor. So we are looking at, okay, can he live up to what his dad did, or is he going to step out onto his own? Is Steve Borden Jr. going to be the next Randy Orton or Cody Rhodes, or is he going to be the next Ted DiBiase Jr. and somebody like that? This was his debut with DEFY. He did make his in-ring debut a few months ago in New York at an arts and wrestling festival, where he teamed up against Darby Allin in a tag match. And Darby Allin is the one that has been training him.
Mm-hmm.
So this is very, very intriguing to me. I have yet to see the match or really read a review. I'm just trying to figure out. Oh, he locked up with a Nightmare Factory trainee in Kieran Gray. So you've got Sting's son locking up with somebody being trained by Cody and Dustin.
Dustin specifically. Dustin runs the Nightmare Factory more than Cody does now.
Right.
But yeah, this is I want to say this for Steve Borden Jr. right now. This is I don't really see this as a bit of a nepotism thing, because if it was, Sting would have been like, we're going to put you on AEW.
Right.
This is Sting telling his boy, you need to go through everything I went through to get to where I am. Bob Orton told Randy Orton the same thing. Dusty told Cody the same thing.
Yep.
Dusty told Dustin the same thing. And in Randy's case, the only thing Bob Orton did was set him up with who to train, and that was Harley Race.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this. I want to see a little bit more from him. I want to see where he's going to go. I don't necessarily want to see him on like WWE TV or AEW or even in New Japan yet. I want him to actually start simmering within the independent circuit, because that's how you get it through. That's how you get ahead in this business, is by working and building relationships with all the wrestlers, all the people you work with in the company, and getting yourself out there and more noticed. Granted, you do have a Sting as your dad. That shouldn't mean anything, in my personal opinion.
And I'm with you there 100%. He did pick up the victory in this match as well, and was apparently given "please come back" chance.
So he must be doing something right in that case. And knowing DEFY, they will bring him back.
Yes.
They because I've watched a few DEFY wrestling events. They seem to listen to what people want.
Right. I could see him, give him a year in the Indies, and then maybe let him go and do LFG.
That's too fast still. I would give 4 or 5 years tops.
I'm going to say this. It has to depend on how quickly he truly picks up the business.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, let him cook on the independents. Let him travel the world. Let him get seasoned before he comes in. Because that way, when you go to AEW or WWE, TNA, whichever, you've already got a seasoned vet at that point.
Right.
Now, granted, I know when you come into these major promotions, you still have to start at the bottom.
Yeah.
But that's what I want to see out of Steve Borden Jr. That's what I want to see out of all these next generation talents whose parents have already gone through the business. And I forgot to mention, like, even Natty, like she wasn't handed the WWE right away.
No, she was not. And I mean, there is another one who is already training, but has already said she wants to take over the family business and be just like Pop. And of course, I am talking about Aurora Rose Levesque.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm intrigued to see. I'm intrigued about that. I know Stephanie's not too happy about her wanting to do it, but it is what it is, Steph. It is what it is. I know Hunter's
Yes.
happy about it.
Yes. So Steve Borden Jr. did give a quote, and he said, "Incredible crowd the whole night. Thank you for having me at DEFY Northwest, and thank you for your energy, Seattle."
Yeah, 100%. They're going to bring him back, and it's obviously going to depend on what his schedule is, because this is only what his second booking with the company right now.
Yes, it was stated last month Borden made his in-ring debut at Awesome Championship Wrestling at the 52 Walker Art Gallery in Manhattan, where he teamed with JD Drake of the Workhorsemen against Killer Cross and Darby Allin.
Yeah, that was at the Darby Allin art exhibit that he did.
Yes.
Again, like, he's only taken the 2 bookings. It's still too early to call whether he's going to go to these major promotions.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, if you take a look at right off that bat in that first match, Darby Allin, Killer Cross, and although I'm not a huge fan of his, JD Drake, that is huge to have that experience in the ring working with you.
Yeah. But now let's put him, like, let's say he does a 1 year in the independents. Let's put him against guys who don't necessarily know how to call a match.
Yeah.
Because that's where the challenge will really come in, as far as, being in the ring goes. But awesome work, Steve Borden Jr. I'm glad that he's doing this. I didn't get a look at how old he is starting, but just judging by this image, he looks young. So
Yes, I can't remember how old he is. I thought he was late 20s, early 30s.
okay, so he's if that's the case, he's taking the DDP approach to getting in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on that note, guys, I think it's time that we take our first commercial break. Take a look.
A Turnbuckle affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, videos games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today, because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have ever wanted your break in podcasting, content creation, potential collaboration, or to help us out behind the scenes, turnbucklestudios.org or the QR code up in the corner of the screen. Go to the host section and meet the team. Chris Best, myself, Bubba Duke, Chris Parrish, and Carl Carafel. Watch our latest weekly episodic shows. Get our social media. Hit the join button to send us your credentials. Tell us how you can help us, how you feel we can help you, and we can sit down as a collaborative and figure out the best fit. Go to the shop section to go and get all of your Turnbuckle affiliation program merchandise from carlcarafel.redbubble.com. Ladies and gentlemen, turnbucklestudios.org is the place to be for all your Turnbuckle affiliation program needs.
Yeah, let's move right into our next story here. And this is a story that I didn't even know was happening, really. Tony Chimmel has recently confirmed that his time with AEW has come to an end. Chimmel had been working with the promotion since last year and revealed his departure during a recent interview. I honestly had no idea that this dude was even working with the AEW. I got a feeling that he might have been brought there because of Adam Copeland, maybe.
Well, no, because he didn't ever do any ring announcing.
Right, but he's still friends with Adam.
He is. this was something that I thought he had been doing a lot longer than a year, because I haven't had time to actually read the article here as well. This is on the heels week. AEW just had a major event this past weekend, and there was somebody else who was involved in the production as well that wrapped up their time with AEW. Tony Chimmel, for me, deserves a Hall of Fame induction for everything he brought to the ring announcing. He brought that same sort of vibrance that we got before we got Samantha Irvin.
Yeah, so this is where he made the announcement. He was on All Access Entertainment. He reflected on his experience with the company and noted the differences between AEW and his longtime run with the WWE. And he highlights specifically like the size of the operation and the culture backstage. In this quote, Tony Chimmel had said, I always had a good time there. They're a smaller promotion and they run things a little differently, but the people are nice. I knew a lot of WWE people who are there now. It was a nice little run, and I'm very grateful for the time I had there. They do their thing the way they want to. They do their thing the way they want to do their thing. That was a bit of a tongue twister, Tony. The legendary announcer also made headlines earlier this year with some comments he made about John Cena, which in February he stated that he believed AEW would have allowed him to participate in Cena's retirement tour despite his contract status at the time. But with his AEW obligations now finished, that potential hurdle has been removed. And you know what, though? I can see that. I can see them, WWE, bringing Chimmel back, because let's say Lillian Garcia's deal comes to an end, because she's mostly doing Saturday night's main event and AAA. If let's say like the Saturday night's main event, half of that deal comes to an end, that's where I would bring in Tony Chimmel.
Right. Yeah, you get that legendary voice for the legendary show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, and I think that, you know what, I'm not sure how old Tony Chimmel is, but maybe he's looking to retire, spend more time with the family. I wouldn't be surprised if he's working with Justin Roberts and the others on ring announcing and all of that. Now, Justin Roberts is a fantastic ring announcer.
That he is.
But, you know, Tony just had that little something extra, that je ne sais quoi, if you will.
I think it was his voice. Like, he had a nice, because I got to see the guy in person do the ring announcing. Dude has a booming voice, like to the point where you can feel it in your chest. Because I sat like pretty much ringside when he was doing when he was doing ring announcing, and I'm talking about at a house show I went to in 2005, because he was the announcer for SmackDown at the time.
Right.
And just hearing like making his way to the ring, and he always had that little pause after he said making his way to the ring.
Yep.
You know, and the way he would like carry his R's when he was announcing like Rey Mysterio to the ring. And speaking of R's, when his voice would crack announcing Edge's name to the ring.
Yes. The rated R superstar.
Yeah. And it was the funny story behind that. And Tony Chimmel has said this several times. And the first time he did that, it was an accidental crack, but everybody loved it. So he continued with it.
Yep. And it's things like that, those little subtle nuances that really, and this is where I'm going to give credit to Tony Chimmel for what Samantha Irvin brought to ring announcing. So thank you, Tony, whether this is retirement or whether you're coming back to WWE, whatever you choose to do. The best of luck to you. Thank you for everything. And you do 100% deserve a Hall of Fame induction.
You know what though? I was just thinking about this. I would love for him to be inducted into the hall, and you have to get Edge to induct him.
Right?
100%. But one thing I would like to say to see him do, and I know every wrestler under the sun who retires does this, and we're doing it right now. I want to see Chimmel do a podcast. I would love to hear stories from him.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite things, is hearing the stories from wrestlers who weren't well known, or who didn't make it too big, i.e., Maven, all those kind of guys. And the referees. You better run, OMD. They're coming after you.
They are.
I kind of want to hear stories from like the crew now, like from like Tony Chimmel, Charles Robinson. I'd like to hear him do a podcast because I guarantee you he's got a lot of stories. But those are the people that I like hearing the wrestling stories from, and I wouldn't mind if Chimmel did that. I think that'd be a cool thing.
100% it would. 100% it would.
But at the same time, another thing that I thought just popped in my head just now. Bring him back to the WWE, put him at the Performance Center, have him train people who want to be ring announcers if they need it.
Yep.
Because not just ring announcers, but guys who can work in production, like because he also used to do in-ring interviews every once in a while. He did that.
Yep.
So you can have a guy like him do that as well. I think
Absolutely.
that'd be fine. I think that'd be a fine place for him.
Absolutely, it would.
But now we're going to move on to a story that's a little bit up our alley here, and we're talking about a woman who's been making waves in the pro wrestling world in 2025. Now she's making waves for anime and possibly some video games. We got AJ Lee right now, who has announced that she is writing a Dragon Ball Z like film, as she has stated, for Toei Animation. Toei Animation, for those who don't know, they are known for Power Rangers, Kamen Rider. There's several other things. Anything anime, these guys are typically behind it, unless it's like Studio Ghibli. They also make a bunch of video games too, alongside Tecmo Studios, I think it is they work with.
Okay.
This is gigantic. I'm excited for this. I know AJ Lee's been doing a lot of writing like that because that's basically what she left to become, to start doing. This is an exciting venture for her. And I'm excited to see just where this goes. Like, I wonder if, and I'm not sure what studio owns it, but I wonder if she brings back Ultimate Muscle.
Right. Yes. She broke this. Speaking about her production company, Scrappy Heart. This I want to give credit to. Can't remember the link here. But yes. To Scrappy Heart Productions. She broke about this collaboration, and they are known for Dragon Ball Z as well as Sailor Moon.
Yeah,
For those of us that remember it.
All the big animes, they have a hand in it.
AJ is already a New York Times best-selling author, which is fantastic. She's also mentioned that outside of this project, she has recently written her first original feature film. So that's going to be really interesting to see where that goes. Is it going to be, a straight to DVD or a straight to streaming release, or is it going to go to theaters? It's going to be very, very intriguing to see. I am really excited to see her pursuing these outside projects. I know there was a lot of us who really, after WrestlePalooza, were, why has AJ Lee disappeared? And this is probably why.
It's quite possible. But I'm going to use my filmmaker's brain here to explain how the process of filmmaking actually works. It's not just writing a script and then bringing it to the studio.
No.
It is once you finish that script, there is still months and months and months and months and months and months of progress to get that movie out. So right now, with that script written, sure, she could send it to any studio, but there's more to it that you have to do than that. You have to actually write a log line, which is one sentence that describes the entire movie. You have to also create a pitch poster, and that takes forever to do as well.
Right.
And then there's shopping it out to all the studios. Now there's going to be studios that'll turn you around right as soon as you walk through the door. There's going to be studios that'll take a look at it and throw it in the trash 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you have a name within your profession or whatever. It's still it's pounding the pavement to try and find somebody, and it's not just going to the studios too. It's about finding investors to get those films out. So with this writing with Toei, this is her foot in the door. If she's already written that film, if she wrote that film beforehand, maybe there is a way she can turn it into an anime and get it to them with a pitch.
Well, to read a quote from AJ Lee, I just wrote my first original feature by myself. I'm so excited. I might make it a comic book first, but it's a horror movie, and it's like this mental health horror story.
Yeah, and even writing books too, there's going to publishers to pitch the story, you know?
Yes.
However, there is, on the flip side with that, there's self-publishing as well.
Absolutely there is. I have many a friend who are self-published authors.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything right now, but I'm tinkering around with an idea myself.
You and me both.
This is exciting. Like she is writing, but as I stated, with filmmaking and writing, yes, she is writing for a studio right now. It's a long progress to get that movie out there. So we may not see her first film for 3, maybe 4 years.
Right. So full credit for this story goes to What's Your Story with Stephanie McMahon. And then this was brought to us through WrestlingNews.co.
And that's the other thing too. Does WWE still have their film studios? I think so. I think it's still there.
I think so, though we haven't seen anything from WWE Studios in quite some time.
It's only been 2 years since their last film.
What was the last one?
Give me one moment, I'll tell you. I think it's been 2, maybe 3 years since I last seen something. Because they also, let me see here. WWE Studios.
Because the last one I remember was Leprechaun Origins.
They've been mostly doing TV shows. So everything that's on AEW, A&E and all that, that's WWE Studios.
Okay.
They're WWE LFG, that's WWE Studios. Braun Strowman's new TV show, WWE Studios.
And that's USA Network as well. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so WWE Studios is essentially what Coliseum Video was right now. So
okay.
They're not doing films, they're working on TV programs right now, which is fine because
absolutely. You don't need to be producing a ton of movies. You don't have a ton of guys that need or want to go out and keep making these movies anymore. Like Randy Orton doesn't want to become a movie actor. We know that. Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, they're taking scripts sort of one at a time. John Cena is, wrapping up his career in 2 weeks. The Miz is really, really flourishing in his current role. And I don't think we need a new Marine movie. So I am okay with this.
Yeah, I'm happy with this too. And again, going back to everything that we've seen with AJ, if the WWE does decide to do this, why not give AJ a shot to write a script?
Right. Now, we know that outside of WWE and in his 10 years away, CM Punk has starred in a couple of horror movies and as well has a TV show where I know he's made a guest appearance this year on the CW.
Mm-hmm.
Would you incorporate him into the movie, or would you want to separate personal from business in this situation?
I'm going to use Rob Zombie and his wife as an example and say separate them. Not that I look, I like Rob Zombie's wife, but I don't like her in Rob Zombie movies.
Right.
That's just, it bugs me
Right.
that's what happens. But so I don't necessarily want to see that. And if it came down to it, because there have been times where we've seen film directors, film writers incorporate family members into their movies. I'm going to use a very specific example here with the movie A League of Their Own, directed by Penny Marshall. She had to get her, there's a story I watched where she talked about she originally had an actor play the part of I can't remember his in movie name, but he was based off of Philip Wrigley, who actually started the All American Girls Pro League. The actor she originally hired backed out at the last second. So she had to get her dad, Gary Marshall, who is a prolific actor in Hollywood,
Right.
come in and do it.
Right.
So in that case, I would be fine with that.
Right. Is this a situation too where you would want to see her maybe take on that lead role, or just stay to the production aspect and stay behind the scenes on it?
Stay behind the scenes. Sometimes I'm not a fan of the filmmaker being the star as well.
Right.
I hated that with my short films. If I had to step in, I hated it. I absolutely hated it, because I would have rather have been behind the scenes, making
Right.
sure everything else was going well, but that the actors in front of me were doing fine. But on that note, I think it's time for our next commercial break. We'll be right back after this message.
The Turnbuckle Studios store is open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the merch and represent the best from the shows you watch on a weekly basis. Multiple styles to choose from with over 10 products available. Don't get left out and pick up all your favorites today. Find us at carlcarafel.redbubble.com.
All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, turnbucklestudios.org, the place to be for all of your Turnbuckle affiliation program needs. Meet the team by clicking the host section. See where you can find us on social media. Watch our latest weekly live episodic shows. Go to the join section so you can become one of us. Send us your credentials. Tell us how you can help us, how you feel we can help you. And then we can sit down as a collaborative and figure it out. Go to the shop section as you just saw, or click the QR code in the upper corner. Again, turnbucklestudios.org. That shop section will bring you to carlcarafel.redbubble.com to get all of your Turnbuckle affiliation program merchandise. Wear what we wear. And all of those proceeds come back into our studios to give you a better viewing experience. With
All
that
right.
being said, Mr. Best, I do believe it is time for our showstopper segment.
Yeah, and this week, guys, we're talking the big event for the weekend. We're talking WarGames, guys. And we're going to be talking predictions here. I'm still trying to pull up the match listing here. Just give me like 30 seconds here. There it is. I'm going to start this off with a bang because I've been wanting to talk about this match for a little while now. The women's War Games match. On one side, we got Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and AJ Lee taking on Nia Jax, Lash Legend, the Kabuki Warriors, which is Asuka and Kairi Sane, and Becky Lynch. What have you got? What do you think is going to be taking place in this matchup?
This is going to be chaos. I do know we are likely going to get the EO Sky trash can spot off of the top of the structure.
It's an annual tradition now.
I'm going to go with this, and I am going to go out on a limb here and say your number ones from each team are going to be Alexa Bliss and Lash Legend. I would want to protect a Lash Legend, maybe have her come out in the middle. But I think that to have her go out and start, especially with that power, and you do have a much smaller competitor in an Alexa Bliss who can actually help guide her through that first 5 minutes.
Now imagine this, and I thought about this as you said that with Lash Legend. Imagine, I'm thinking back to like the 1994 Royal Rumble, for instance, when Diesel came to the ring and he threw out 7 guys, stood in the ring all by himself for several minutes.
Yep.
Imagine Lash Legend doing that with Alexa, throws her around the ring for like 5 minutes, just absolutely eats her alive.
Yeah.
Then we'll say Charlotte comes out to make the save because that just feels like an obvious choice there.
Right.
Charlotte's not so successful at it.
Right.
Lash Legend continues to beat on her. Nia Jax then comes in. Now we've got 2 of these women dominating everything.
Yep.
This could not only just show the dominance of Lash Legend, but the dominance of Nia Jax and Lash Legend together as a team, thus building them as a very, very credible threat to the women's tag team champions, the Kabuki Warriors, at the same time.
100%. And I am going to go on the record right now, and I'm going to say this because I think the baby faces are going to win the War Games advantage match that is likely coming this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to give the win, since AJ won at WrestlePalooza, Becky Lynch's team, the Kabuki Warriors, Nia Jax, and Lash Legend are going to win the women's War Games match.
I think I'm in that same boat with you because this isn't the end of the Becky Lynch AJ Lee saga.
No.
This will not be the end, when usually cage matches are the end.
This is really the beginning of it.
Yeah, this is match 2, and they're not even really one-on-one.
No.
In their first match, they weren't even one-on-one either. So this is going to be building to AJ saying, I want you in a one-on-one match.
Yeah.
We may not get it till, like, let's say WrestleMania.
Right.
Because we could see them encounter each other inside the Royal Rumble. We can see them encounter each other inside the Elimination Chamber. And then you get that match at Mania.
Yeah, exactly. So you can give them these multi-woman matches because you got the time to build this and still incorporate others so that it's not a direct and really wearing on the fan base.
Yeah. Because let's face it, I feel like even after War Games, I think AJ's going to take some time off, and then come back for the Rumble. Then take another couple weeks off, maybe. We don't know.
Right.
And then do the Chamber. And then we got that build to WrestleMania where she can show up each week or whatever.
I am also going to go out on a limb here, and this is somebody that I think needs a turn of direction. And I do think because you're going to get that build to having 4 teams that can challenge in a 4-way for the tag team titles in Rhea and Io, Charlotte and Alexa, the Kabuki Warriors, and of course Nia and Lash. I'm going to take Rhea Ripley to turn.
I could see it, but at the same time, she's also one of the top sellers for women's in the women's division. So I don't know if you want to give that up. We'll have to wait and see how this pans out come Saturday.
Right. I think that again builds that story because Rhea doesn't have that success against somebody like Io. Rhea, like, they can finish the match and then Rhea can turn. She doesn't have to do it in the match to cost her team.
But at the same time, how many times are you going to have friends turning on Io before it gets dry? And it's already starting to feel dry for me.
Right. And I can understand that. But this would propel that, Rhea's lack of success against Io Sky. This is now, okay, now I'm studying you up close and personal. It's that keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer type of thing. So then let Rhea get that one-on-one victory.
It also reverses what Rhea's character has been over the last couple of years, where she's been the loyal person. I mean, she was loyal to Dom, she was loyal to the Judgment Day, and they turned their backs on her. She's loyal to Io, so what if it's Io that turns? If that's the case.
I could see that too, and I like that direction as well.
But speaking of, we'll talk heel turns a little bit later because I have a scenario in my mind for another match. But we're going to move on to John Cena's final Survivor Series matchup, in which he's going to be defending the Intercontinental Championship against Dominic Mysterio. This could very well be one of my matches of the night because I'm very much looking forward to this. This is going to be a very, very competitive matchup. I think I've got Dominic somehow pulling out the win. I don't know how, though. That's the thing right offhand.
100% Dominic gets the win in this match.
Mm-hmm.
I do not think it's going to be Judgment Day aiding him. In fact, if anything, I think the Judgment Day would be more of a detriment. This is Dominic Mysterio getting this match in his hometown.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to need the Judgment Day. He is going to have that crowd doing the dirty, dirty Dom. We're going to get that European soccer chant for him. We're going to get that. John Cena is going to get booed out of Petco Park.
I think they're both going to be cheered. It's going to be like a babyface versus babyface dynamic, when that's not the case because John Cena is the babyface, Dominic is actually the heel going into this situation. But because we are in Petco Park, we are in San Diego, there's going to be that AAA contingent because fans from Mexico are going to make their way into California to come and watch this match. And the way it's working right now is in AAA, Dominic is the babyface.
Yes. But I think this is going to steal the show. This is your match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, this honestly probably should be your main event.
Yeah, for a little while now, we all thought that this was going to end up on Saturday night's main event because we had heard rumblings that this feud was going to take place, and we thought that it was going to happen at Saturday night's main event because the general thought was, at least from my side, from my personal expectation, I thought John Cena was going to be in WarGames. I kind of wanted to see John Cena do WarGames.
I can understand that. But you have to wonder did John Cena really want to go into a structure like that 2 weeks before his last match with the added potential to really take that moment away?
Well, I mean, like there was the risk of him getting hurt, but I would have booked him to come out last. Because let's face it, when you come into WarGames last, there's maybe about 10 minutes until the match is done.
Right.
But this is I'm honestly really looking forward to this match. This is going to be Dominic's Star Maker match.
100% it
He's,
is.
I mean, he's already a star, but this is just going to shoot him up even more. And this is going to make us think that maybe Dominic is a credible contender for a heavyweight championship.
I've said it before. I will say it again. I actually have now Dom winning the Royal Rumble, and he will be world champion by the end of 2026. Whether he beats a CM Punk or whether he beats a Cody Rhodes.
The only way I can see Dom not being successful in this match, and I don't think it's going to happen, but if Rey Mysterio were to come out and help John Cena.
Right.
I can see Rey still coming out, making a presence, because if the going gets tough for Dom, we may see Finn and JD come out, and then maybe we see Rey and, I don't know, somebody else come out and give them a hand to fend off those guys so that we can still get this clean matchup. But in the end, I do think Dominic is taking the win.
Do we get that situation that we got a couple of months ago at Worlds Collide where Rey had to come out and put the title on Dom when he won it?
It could further the feud between him that's brewing between him and Rey. But we're going to take one more commercial break before we get into our final two matches. There's only 4 matches on the show, but take a look at this. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thursday we go TNA when we brace for Impact at 7:55 p.m. Eastern. Friday we secure all details as we answer the call for the SmackDown security detail at 8 p.m. Eastern. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. Eastern. On Sundays be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Eastern. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our weekly programming that does not include the special events like the PLE Patrol coming up this Saturday night with Mr. Best, with myself, for the Survivor Series. But TurnbuckleStudios.org, ladies and gentlemen, is the place to be for all your Turnbuckle affiliation program needs. Go to the host section and meet the team, Mr. Best, myself, Carl Carafel, Bubba Duke, and Chris Parrish. Get our socials so that you can reach out to us outside of here. Watch our latest weekly episodic shows. Click the shop button to go to carlcarafel.redbubble.com and get all of the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program merchandise. Get it and get it all. Most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, hit the join button. Send us your credentials. Tell us how you feel you can help us. Tell us how you feel we can help you. We can sit down as a collective and make it happen for you. TurnbuckleStudios.org, ladies and gentlemen, the hottest site on the internet and for all your Turnbuckle affiliation program needs.
All right, we've only got 10 minutes left, so let's roll right into the next matchup. Stephanie Becker defending her title against Nikki Bella. The Women's World Championship is on the line. I know this is not a match you're looking forward to. I think I already know who you're picking to win, though.
Yep, this for me.
Oh, so it's going to be the sleeper match of the night for you. So it's going to be the match of the night.
No, that's Dom and John. This match is the one that is going to probably put me to sleep. I am taking Stephanie Becker to retain. Nikki Bella is not up to speed and will not be able to keep up with Stephanie.
You're going in with the lowest expectations, and I like that because I do expect a decent little match, because if there is a woman who can carry a match and bring a good match out of somebody who's an okay wrestler, we'll say, because Nikki Bella, she does have some talent. There is something there. There just hasn't been somebody to bring that out of her. Stephanie Vaquera, I think, could be that person. Now, am I saying that this is going to be the greatest women's match ever? No, because I've got a personal conviction on what the greatest women's match is. Trish Lita, Unforgiven 06.
Right.
But I am I'm looking forward to what Stephanie can do with Nikki. This isn't necessarily a star-making match for Stephanie because, I mean, Nikki does have a bit of a caliber with her. She does carry name value. And yeah, beating her that will put a feather in your cap. But I think Stephanie has already got that feather.
She does. And I look at it as, you know what? We tried it with Nikki Bella and Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Roxanne Perez really have to slow down her match to work with Nikki. We've seen her with Raquel Rodriguez. We've seen them in tag matches. This, for me, I don't need it. I'm going to put this one out there, though. Is this where we see the return of Brie Bella?
It's possible. It's hard to say. But I want Stephanie to retain because if Brie comes back, then Nikki's winning.
Okay.
Because the Bella twins together as a team, far better than the Bellas being separate, because I hated it. I hated that whole feud where they broke up some years ago. And
No,
I think it was Nikki who sided with Stephanie McMahon. I hated it.
I'm with you there. And I mean, you know my thoughts on these family versus family, brother versus brother, sister versus sister, father versus son matches. I'm tired of them. I don't need them anymore. If it was an organic match that, you know, okay, we've got these two who are a team, but there's a massive tournament and somehow they draw each other for the first round, or it works out that way, great. I'm all for it. It doesn't need to have the feud behind it.
So Bulldog Owen in the European title finals, for instance.
Yeah.
Yeah, the less said about this match, the better, my personal opinion. Stephanie takes the win 100%. But stranger things have happened. I mean, Maxine won the Intercontinental title.
Right.
So, as much as I am happy for Maxine, and I am very happy with her progress in the ring, Nikki Bella, okay, and I've said this for week in, week out, she actually isn't that bad of a wrestler. It just takes somebody on the other side that can help her get to that point. Nikki, in my personal opinion, can't carry a match, but she can work with somebody who can carry a match.
Right.
Stephanie Vaquera is that person. So I've got Stephanie taking the win. You've got Stephanie taking the win. We only got a few moments here. Let's get right into men's WarGames match, in which CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, take on the Vision, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar. What are you taking away from this match?
You know what? I questioned something last night on the babyface side when I asked, you know, who's the true definitive leader of the babyface team? You've got your two champions. You've got Roman Reigns and what he's done through his career. Now, I've thought about this today, and you guys know where I stood on I don't need Brock Lesnar, and I can even say the same about Roman Reigns. I don't need either of them in this match because we've seen that. One of the big drawbacks for me has been this whole Drew McIntyre suspension, because that just got thrown right out the window. And they've been calling so much attention to it. Oh, you're suspended, but I chose you for the WarGames advantage match. You're suspended, but you're the fourth guy on the team. This really, there's too many negative factors going into this match. I think that this match is going to be absolute carnage, but I'm really not looking forward to it. But I am going to take the heel team for the win.
So I take it you didn't hear when Nick Aldis on Friday said after Survivor Series, Drew McIntyre continues his suspension.
I did not.
Yeah.
But I think that is something that should have been done the previous Friday when he was introduced as the fourth guy, or even on Monday when Paul Heyman went in and said, if you guys were upset that Drew's my fourth, wait till you see my fifth. They could have both stepped in and said, no. Drew's suspension is final. He is not eligible. And that would have added a little more intrigue, because then you could have pushed him to come out and wreak absolute havoc in that match.
But you've got the heels taking the win here. I'm going for a babyface win.
Okay.
But I totally expect, because of Brock Lesnar being in this match specifically, complete and utter destruction. Brock Lesnar, now here's how I see it. I don't think Brock starts the match, because I've already stated that with Lash Legend. I don't want to see a repeat spot with this.
No.
But if that were the case, Brock does the same thing. I can see Brock still hanging out in the cage, but once his name gets called, or once he gets called out, maybe he's the last one. We've already got the ring loaded with weapons at that point.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar won't bring a weapon in, because he is the weapon.
Yeah.
I do expect complete and utter destruction. The one thing is I'm trying to figure out who could eat the pinfall. Maybe Logan Paul could. Logan Paul is going to be in this match totally 110% there to do the high spot.
Right.
Same with Jimmy and Jay. Those are my thoughts on that.
Right. See, I actually have, if you're going to do it that way, it's either got to be a Braun Breaker or Logan Paul getting the win for the heel team.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's Jimmy that is going to eat the pinfall.
Yeah, I could see that, but you can also make this match and turn it into a Star Maker match for him, and have him kind of dominate a few moments in the match, maybe.
Right. I'm going to go out with this. I think Jimmy is going to open the match for the babyface team against Bronson Reed.
I like that choice. I think I'm going there too as well. But I think where we are going to go is out of here, because we're coming down to the tail end of the show here. You've heard our thoughts. All you got to do now is check out the PLE Patrol this coming Saturday. OMD, where can the people look for you?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking for me on the socials, it is my link tree, linktr.ee/OMD show. And visually, you can catch me right back here tomorrow night with Mr. Best on the PlayStation Showcase.
All right. And if you guys want to find my socials, you can look for me at my link tree, linktr.ee/Chris_best83. On that note, OMD, what are those famous words we like to go out on?
Ladies and gentlemen, always remember, the world is better with you in it. From all of us here at Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, to those of you out there wherever you are, good night, good luck, we out.
Flagship show setting the tone. In the world of wrestling, we stand alone. With news and reviews, we lead the way. Turnbuckle Talk every day. Turnbuckle Talk every day.